Health, and today we are going to talk about breaking bad habits. Now this is the next step in our Getting the Big Picture series. Now just how we talk about building our body and how important it is to stay healthy physically, our mind is just or even more important to keep healthy, okay? Now all these videos that we do are little lessons to help you develop that healthy mentality. And it will take you a long way throughout your whole life. So today we're going to talk about breaking bad habits, and there's 3 different rules or steps that I'd like to talk about. Step 1. In this step, it's developing your consciousness, alright? Now, your consciousness has gotten you into that negative behavior or bad habit, okay? And what happens is, after our consciousness has gotten it there, if you're believing the Freudian experience, he talks about the unconscious, okay? So with that in mind, when we develop these behaviors, it's from our conscious, but after a while it gets embedded into our body that we don't even realize that we're doing it. It becomes very impersonal, but so that negativity or that bad habit is embedded in us, alright? Now this is where the conscious comes into play. What we need to do is, if one of these situations arises, say, there's a race coming up and you want to do it, but you're like, oh, I'm going to lose. Right there when you say that, stop and think, well, why is it that I'm going to lose? It's that negative behavior, that unconsciousness already telling you I'm going to fail. So by catching it there, bringing it back up in your conscious and saying, well, I can do this, but I have to do X, Y, and Z to help, get better at my running. And now you flipped it and you turned it into a positive behavior. But it takes time and practice. So what you have to do is try to catch yourself when you're thinking in a negative way or you're going towards that bad behavior. Stop there and think about, well, why am I doing this? How can I reverse this? By adding that consciousness back into your way of thinking about that negative behavior, it's going to help break that bad habit, okay? Now that takes a lot of practice to work with, but it's definitely attainable. I've been trying to practice it after I've been reading that book, Psycho-Cybernetics, and that's one of the chapters it talks about, is that conscious way of thinking, and it's definitely helped, I have problems with anxiety, so if something comes up that I'm not used to, I'm a time-scheduled person, so if my pattern gets messed up, I get that anxiety feeling, and then I have to stop, and I think, well, why is it that I'm getting all nervous? It's really not a big deal. Once I'm talking myself into that, my body calms down, and, I'm breaking that bad behavior now that I'm thinking about it more. Alright, now, step 2, what we want to work on, is called Let the Sleeping Dog Lie. And this means do not dig up those past bad experiences or failures. We don't have to do that to create that bad behavior. We leave the past in the past. That's why it's called our past, alright? So what we do is we learn from those negative experiences. So say, for instance, we're doing a lift, okay? And your form is wrong. You feel the form is wrong, okay? But your body corrects it. Now, when we perform the lift correctly, take that positiveness and embed that in your brain, okay? But that negative, we learn from that experience and then we moved on so we could do it correctly. Now, that's the analogy that I'm using for the physical aspect, but think about anything in your daily life. This even happens with animals with a maze, okay? So if you put a rat in a maze and cheese at the end, he's going to go try to find his way towards that cheese. He's going to hit a lot of different corners or alleys that are the wrong way, but he knows this. He puts it into memory and he doesn't go down that road again. So you learn from past experiences, but we don't have to dig up our past to correct our future. Alright, so when we're working on a behavior, realize this is wrong, okay, and how am I going to change it? let the sleeping dog lie. It's that simple, but it takes time to practice. Once you get into that mentality, it's going to make breaking that bad behavior a lot easier. And this is the third step, is really what I want you to work on, okay? Now think about that bad behavior. I want you to list down not all of your bad behaviors, but your top 3 that, bother you, all right? And it's bothersome to you, and you want to try to change that, okay? So say you're a problem, if you're trying to lose weight, but you have that habit of late night snacking, per se, or like right after dinner snacking, when you're not really hungry, it's because you're bored, all right? Well, take that negative habit and replace it with positive habits. So it's not really finding your bad habits, it's about putting more positive things into your life. Once you have more positive things, there's no room for that bad habit. So what you're going to do is, instead of that late night snack, you're going to go for a walk, all right? This is the time that I usually have my late night snack, but now you're going to add that positive behavior in by going into a walk. Or, well, my church has this church meeting every night at 6 p.m., okay? That's your late night snack. Go to that. Once you start doing positive things, you're going to get positive feedback. That's how it works, What comes in must come out. It's the same thing, same premise. So start by practicing adding these positive things into your behavior, into your life, and that's going to create positive habits, all right? And because it's knocking out those negative habits, there's not going to be room for it. You won't be thinking about it. Once you do these 3 steps and you work on it, life will just seem a lot simpler, all right? And it's definitely beneficial. So one last thing, I would like to give a shout out to one of my awesome clients, Dina, for getting me this awesome shirt. It says, "Don't just adapt, evolve," all right? And that's the way that we need to live, all right? If you guys have any questions, please feel free to contact me at matt@growtohealth.com. Feel free to check out a lot of my other videos at www.youtube.com/growtohealth. We have adult workouts, we have children's games, we have these mental lessons to help you build that healthy mind and body together. All right, so if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. We're here to help you guys. All right, have a good night. Bye.